Hey, yo, what is going on, guys? This is your boy Hybrid here, and this is the first podcast I've ever done. I got two guests here. We have Ogie, or you want to call him Jeff, and we have Joe, or you can call him Boneless. This is again the first podcast, and we're gonna get right into it. So, a new movie called Prey came out, which is the new Predator movie, which is Predator 5. I believe came out Friday on Hulu, and honestly, I enjoyed the film. There's some things I wish that were different, but I'm gonna let these guys talk about it, and then I'll kind of butt in between or later on.
And it was
Yeah.
pretty fucking good. I gave it a 8 out of 10. I thought it was gonna be too short when I first saw it, but it's actually a fucking perfect length for the story they're trying to tell.
And see, that's what I thought too. When I saw an hour and 40 minutes, I'm like, dude, this shit it's gonna be short as fuck. But I thought it was a good length. It felt longer than it was.
Yeah, I mean it was a little like the way it was set up
Drag
was like fucking. It wasn't dragged. It was just like point A, point B. It's like they were just trying to get to it,
instead of
which is
doing
like why
like all the different scenes and then having Predator there, and then it was kind of all point A to point B.
I did like how they introduced the predator though. Like when it showed the fucking ant climbing up the leaf, and then it showed the mouse eating the ant, and then the snake eating the mouse, and then the predator killing the snake. Like each time you saw the predator, he was going from like the top, what he thought that was the top, to the top to the top, until he found what could kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool.
Agreed.
I thought it was an alright movie. I read a couple of reviews after the fact, and some people were hating on it because of some, dumb little things.
Nitpick.
But yeah, I'd say it's my first Predator movie, so
Oh man, you guys are missing
I
out.
missed out on
You
both missed out on that.
so I really like the Predator Alien atmosphere. I love those movies. I mean, they ain't the best, the more they make them. I can tell you that right now. Like, I think after Aliens, which is the second one, those were bad. Alien vs Predator was fine. It was fun. It was goofy. But Alien vs Predator Requiem was shit. The only cool thing about that whole movie was we got to see the home world, from what it looks like was the Predator's home world. I was like, dope. We could have a movie about that. But other than that, the movie was terrible. The Predator was terrible just because it was just fucking straight up a comedy, and it was just not a good film. It wasn't a good film. Predators was honestly arguably one of my favorite Predator movie. I fucking love that movie. But this movie overall, I loved it. I think it had a little bit of the first movie vibes. It was in the jungle, it felt more like in the jungle, even though it was like in the forest. And I liked.
To me, it felt very wholesome, especially the ending.
Yeah.
Her coming back with I don't know if we're supposed to spoil it right now, but she really had a victorious.
We can go spoilers.
ending.
It's fine.
Yeah, she cut off the head of the predator.
Yeah, and it was dope.
Dude, it was so sad when like the whole thing that set it up when it was her brother was saying, "This is my final fight. Bring him home." That was because the whole movie was about her proving herself, because everyone was talking shit about her and saying she can't hunt, she can't do this, and then she finally was the one to bring him down. She had to outsmart it too. She couldn't just kill it straight on. She had to fucking set him up, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, and there were some cool techniques that she did to do that. And I like that the character struggled too. Like, it showed that she was struggling to hunt, and she was trying to be better. And you could see that she was.
She had a total of 5 encounters. She failed 4 times and learned each time about what it did. Like the orange flowers thing when he was healing that Frenchman.
Mm-hmm.
She saw that it cooled their blood,
And so he couldn't
they even said
see.
at the beginning. Yeah, and then that's what she used to fucking move away. At the end, when she was saying, it's like, you guys didn't realize. You guys said I couldn't hunt. You didn't mark me as a threat, but this whole time you didn't realize I was killing you. And then she fucking does it. And it was fucking. I was like, yeah, this is cool.
I agree. Yeah, and I like that. It was dope. And like you said earlier, I love the. I even said that too to my uncle. I said I love that they did the bug. They ate the bug, and then et cetera, et cetera. I like that it came up the food chain.
Food chain just kept getting bigger.
Yeah, He next saw a wolf hunting a rabbit. He saw the rabbit wasn't a threat, killed the wolf, and then the bear. Dude, that bear fight was awesome. That
Yeah.
bear was fucking him up, and probably would have won if he didn't just like give up and thought he died.
And he fucking killed him with his fucking bare hands and shit. And it was
Bro,
dope. I love the shot where he just has him in the air with his claws, and then he just has blood just
freaking
pouring
blood.
down.
Yeah, dude. That's when shit got real. That's when the Naru saw that she's like, oh, this is something else. And no one else would believe her. Like the guys who fucking saved her, or saved her, quote unquote, but they got bodied.
Oh,
They didn't
dude.
believe her. They were just talking shit to her
Yeah,
all
and
the
they're trying to
time.
beat her up and shit. I was so happy when that dude died. I was like, "Fuck you, bitch."
Hmm.
People were a little skeptical about this movie because they thought it was gonna be like that typical like movie we always get is like, "Oh, I'm a woman. I gotta prove myself. I gotta do this." And like to me, it
Maybe
was
she actually had a reason to.
to me it was more of a actual reason was because she was a woman. She just had a reason, and I just liked that. I think it was a better story told. It wasn't like I'm a woman, I'm better. It's like it was
What they
dope.
said is it was her fulfilling her kutamaya. That's what they're calling it. And her brother was the only one encouraging her, and everyone else in the tribe was just talking shit.
Yeah.
She's like, you can
Yeah,
do it.
like the guy at the beginning who got killed by the lion. It was
Yeah,
Carmen.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the first guy with the fucking lion, he was saying it's like you can't hunt. You think you're gonna be able to do it, but you're too scared.
Instead, she was the one that assisted in the elimination of that
Hmm.
bad
So
cat.
overall, I would. Hmm, I would say
I was just
I would say a
okay.
7.8 or an 8. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10
I
because you can also relate to her story in our own lives. Even if you fail all the time, you can still overcome that failure and become who you need to be.
Yeah.
That's how I
It
thought
was
it was.
good. It was really good. Jeff, like,
Yeah,
what
I give
would
it
you
a
rate it?
7.2.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, that's pretty high. People don't realize like that's even high for movies too. It's like an 8 is really fucking high for a movie.
Hmm.
That's why I would even say maybe a 7.8. I
Yeah, it's actually making me want to go and watch more of the Predator movies, at least
I
the
Same.
good ones.
well, and the cool thing is on Hulu they have all of them on the rest of them on there.
No
Everyone,
shit.
well, when I read an article, it was like this movie beats the first Predator movie. I was like, nah, dude, the first Predator movie is still like, it's not only nostalgia, it's just a fucking really good movie, and it gets right into the Predator right the fuck away. And
I saw that they premiered this at Comic-Con as well. I should have went there.
really,
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago.
see, I didn't know
But
anything about Prey until like a couple weeks ago.
The thing
yeah,
also I didn't really like about Prey is he wouldn't have lost if he just killed her, because he gave her 4 opportunities to just get away.
Yeah, well,
And I,
that's how they hunt too. I mean, that's how the
yeah,
Predator works.
they like to hunt for sport. I get it, but
They're not just
like,
on a murdering streak because fuck
which is
it.
kind of cool. It's like they're not just killing just to kill. He actually wants a challenge.
Yeah, that's
He
kind of
wants
the
to
whole
see
purpose
if
of
he can
Predator.
beat it.
Yeah.
Just kind of cool. I do like that.
Yeah, man. If you
It was showing that every time it scanned someone, it was seeing if it had a weapon, it was seeing if it was a threat, and then it determined to kill it or not.
and
It
I
wasn't just fucking looking at things like, oh, you have blood, so I'm gonna kill you.
agreed. Yeah, and I like the gore too. Thought it was
Hmm.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the combat was so cool. That
dude.
fucking net scene. Just do you remember that net scene
Yeah,
Jeff and I were
yeah,
talking about? Fucking just
mhm.
melted that guy with it.
bro. Or the one where he has the fucking hatch and he flips it and just fucking cuts his arm off.
Oh, bro, that shit was. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. That's why I like the Predator. Like shit like that. If you guys like this movie, you guys will. The Predators is really fucking good. That movie is gruesome. That's actually more gruesome, I would say. Um, fuck that movie's good because that one's pretty much a bunch of random people are dropped off at an unknown planet and have to survive.
You
So
know what's crazy about that? People are saying Stranger Things is connected to the Predator because in the Predator movie they keep talking about Jim Hopper, which is he's in Stranger Things, and it's a year after the Stranger Things events happen.
What year was Stranger Things?
in the 80s,
1988. Yeah,
70s.
1988.
Okay.
That's what season 4 is, 1988, and the first Predator movie is 1989. And they're talking about Jim Hopper, who is an agent, and he got lost during that.
Oh, I
Fun
had no clue about
fact.
that.
Fun
Yeah.
fact. With Alien, believe it or not, Alien is in the same universe as Blade Runner, which is weird, but it
That
is.
is very weird.
It's very random, and I don't know how that's even connected or fucking. There's like I don't have to see if there's any like Easter eggs or something because I don't. I've seen all the Alien movies. I've seen fucking Blade Runner, which Blade Runner is fantastic. I have no idea how those are even connected, but yeah. So first Predator movie, that's dope. I'm glad you guys liked it. I was kind of afraid maybe it was a little too slow in the beginning, but honestly, I liked the build up. I think it was nice. I liked the hunting.
It
I
went
was thinking the
slow, and
same
then
thing.
it was slightly fast, and then it was just fast, fast, fast action.
My
I
big,
like the middle point was just all action.
I think my biggest problem with the film is I think the Indians, like, obviously it's okay if they don't speak English. It's kind of like when you watch a World War II film. It's like,
That's what someone was talking about. Someone said the same thing.
it's
He
like,
rated it 1 star because they weren't speaking in their native tongue the
well,
entire.
there is a version of that. If he was fucking smart enough, there's actually a version of that. But it's like a World War II film. It's like when you watch like the Nazis
Germans.
speak, they speak
Yeah.
English. More of
Yeah.
just more of, I guess, the dialogue just more have an accent, I guess, or more,
So not being grammarly correct, if that's even how you say it.
I guess, more
Having
what
more
they
Old
genuine.
English, like
kind of,
speak Old English
I
in like the
guess,
1800s and stuff.
I guess what they would kind of speak if they were speaking English back in the day, but they're also Indian, so they would have it'd be a little harder.
Well, they would technically shouldn't be English because they weren't colonized yet.
True, but you know what I mean. For the movie's sake,
Yeah.
for the movie's
Yeah.
sake, like I would have liked it not just be so modern, but it's whatever. I enjoyed it overall.
Yeah, the costumes look good to me, but I saw the one issue kind of with like the not yeah, it was the language. When the French people were talking, you had no idea what they were saying the entire time.
Yeah. It was like there was no fucking dialogue in the background. I didn't like that.
I didn't really like the French people. I don't know why they were even there because I don't even think the French were there in that time period.
Well, I believe they were because this was
It was 1719. I don't think they were there.
because dude, Canada.
That wasn't set in Canada though.
No, I know, but that was from the. But I'm saying this is set up in the northern part of America.
I know what plains they said. Let me look up the plains.
Is the Great Plains.
The South Plains.
Yeah,
it was the Southern Plains.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, they could have just traveled from fucking Canada all the way down, So, yeah, I don't know.
They wouldn't do that.
I don't know, and like they made it.
It would have made more sense if it was the English because that was by the time they were starting to fuck.
Yeah.
And that's almost before 1776. What was it?
And it was cool. They actually used like actual like Indian actors, which was dope too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was dope. And I thought she did a good job. The actress that played her. So
Yeah, she was good.
So
I really thought it was gonna be one of those Mary Sue movies, but I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too. And it was like she wasn't just fucking manhandling a fucking predator. Like she was struggling so fucking hard.
Yeah, that trick she did with the axe on the string,
Yeah,
like the rope, man, that was a good move.
And they made fun of her for that. I was like, nah, y'all are gonna bust her body.
She trained hard. It was like this was her battle.
Mm-hmm. And I like the dog. I like the dog too.
Oh yeah, I'm glad the dog made it out.
You know, the dog wasn't actually trained for that movie. Like they didn't have him like prior training. They trained him on set, like as it was going, and he adapted really well.
That's dope. I didn't know that. Did you look that up? Did you look that up?
Yeah, I did look that up. I looked that up while we were waiting.
That's funny. Let's move on. I think.
Well, hold on. I'm looking at where it is. The Great Plains were in the Rocky Mountains near the Mississippi River, and it does say, the French guy Jean Baptiste Bernard I can't say his name. He was a company of the Indies to fucking explore the Great Plains. So they actually were there at that time.
Well, there we go.
I don't know why they were there, but.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, you're right. They're the first French Canadians to explore that land.
That's what I was saying. I was like, they're from fucking Canada. That's what I was trying to say. I was like, I know they're.
So they went down there just to fucking fuck off.
I don't know.
Well, it
Well,
doesn't.
there's
It
like
didn't.
It's our
Well,
land
Louisiana.
now.
well, yeah. There was a Louisiana. There was a Louisiana purchase that was
Oh
happening.
yeah.
So
So it was owned by the French, and then we just bought it from them. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh shit.
I
Nice.
forgot what we even gave
Pretty
them.
much, America was never ours.
I forgot what we even traded. We even gave them for that purchase. I think we traded them something. I don't remember.
I
It
think we just
was
gave them
very
money.
little.
Just
I
money.
think it was just money. Yeah.
Oh.
Louise, let me look it up.
We got a
Louisiana.
good deal out of it.
We got
Yeah.
a fuck ton of land. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in 1803 the Louisiana Purchase. The sale of Louisiana was an acquisition of territory for the United States in return for $15 million,
Damn.
or approximately $18 per square mile.
Dude, that's wild. That's
Dude,
so fucking cheap.
I mean, back then, $15 million was not cheap. That was like all our money, pretty much.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, think of it
But the
now.
Louisiana Purchase wasn't just Louisiana. It was a huge.
Oh
It was
yeah, it
like
was a big
it
chunk.
was it was like it was Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, half of North Dakota, and then a little bit of Texas.
Yeah, I mean it was a big chunk.
It's
Big
a
chunk.
huge land. That's our Midwest.
Yeah.
That's
So
huge.
yeah, I'm glad you guys liked it. They literally just saw this movie like an hour ago. So
Mhm.
that's good. I'm happy. And I
Yay.
want to start doing movie reviews in the future just alone. Like I'm going to start doing movie reviews outside of podcasts too. I would like to do that, or even shows. So speaking about shows, Obi-Wan came out, I don't know, a month ago, maybe more than that
No, it was
now.
not a month ago.
More than a month
It was-
ago. It's been out for a
yeah.
while, and it's been a show that's been talked about a lot. I've had my issues with the show. I've had some great things about the show. I definitely think this is something that Disney should learn what to do and what to not do for future fucking projects. That's for sure. I think 6 episodes wasn't enough. I think everyone can agree. I think 6 episodes was kind of whack. There just wasn't enough info for us for the characters. There was so much they were
Yeah.
missing out.
I think 9 episodes would have been better.
I mean, 9 at least. I say 9 and 10 at least minimum.
I would have honestly much rather them have a part 1 and part 2. Just make it like 2 hours for each part.
Well,
So it's 4 hours in total. So pretty much the length of 6
yeah.
episodes.
Well, my problem was it's like, and then some episodes was like what 30 fucking minutes, 35 minutes. I'm like, bro, like, come on, you can't be doing this. This is 6 episodes. You got to give us the full Shazam. So that was my problem. I think Obi was moved. I think that him coming back to the fucking to what he used to be with
It was
with
too
the fort.
quick.
Yeah, with
I don't think because it was 6 episodes, so he gained all his strength back.
yeah, it
way
was
too
like he
quick.
gained the force like that. I'm just like
Like,
it.
episode 4 it was when he was like rescuing Leia.
Yeah,
He was struggling to move something in the ship, and then all of a sudden he fucking held the water and then fucking whoosh and pushed it back. It's like, bro, you were struggling 20 minutes ago. What are you
yeah.
talking about?
I this is what it should have happened. It should have been like I think it's great. It shows that he's struggling with the force because it makes sense. Because he
Yeah,
hasn't been
out
using
of
it.
the first 10 years.
His mental state isn't there. Like it's all fucked up. It would have been dope to have like 10 episodes minimum. Again, 9 to 10 episodes, and seeing him struggle in these episodes, and even having flashbacks of him meditating, from the Clone Wars with him and Ahsoka, or him and Anakin. Like this is shit that should have happened instead of
Qui-Gon should have
getting.
been introduced earlier. Like when he was in the back to tank, that's when Qui-Gon should have been introduced. That's the first time you should have heard him. He should have spent that entire episode in the back to tank, healing, listening to Qui-Gon, and that's when he gets his force abilities back. And it should have been a more Darth Vader focused episode of
Mhm.
him he could have been like training or meditating himself, and then we get the Clone Wars flashbacks of him and Obi.
Yeah,
And
I
they're
mean,
both going through their own meditative state
I
before they see each other.
my other problem is I think 10 years is kind of pushing it. I think Vader should have already been his fucking peak. I think 10 years is a long time. I think the show should have been 5 years after, because I think the age difference would have looked better if it was
Well,
5 years.
they did 10 years just so it can be tied in with Solo going on at the same time and the Star
Yeah.
Wars Jedi Fallen Order was
Well,
at the same time.
I just think 5 years it would have been perfect for 5 years, because Anakin would have had his it'd be perfect for 5 years, because then you can see that he's really struggling with the light and the dark, and with his old master, and like that would make more sense to me personally. And yeah, and then I think 10 years should have been he's already the Vader that we know. I think 10 years is enough. I don't think that it should have taken that long for him to become who he is. But
The man just left Vader to live for a second time, though.
yeah.
I mean, he didn't want to kill. He still saw Anakin regardless. I mean, even though he said that my friend is truly gone, he's not gonna still kill him because he still believes this.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
actually got a good soul.
I and then like Reva was like, it was like so stupid. I think Reva, her character would have been fine, but it's like it's almost like they try to focus on her, like have another story about someone else. Like we don't, in all honesty, we don't give a fuck about anyone else except Obi and Anakin. Like we don't need any of this shit. I'm glad they didn't have like a huge fucking backstory on Reva, because that would have been even worse. Because it's like, dude, we got 6 episodes. We don't got time for this shit. Um, but I did like how fucking Vader knew who she was and just outsmarted the shit out of her. I did not like that he just let her live. Like I think that the Vader that we know would have absolutely murdered her. And I don't think anyone would survive a wound like that, unless, like I said, I think it would have been great if she used the dark side to keep herself alive. Her eyes are fucking pitch red. Her ass is going out to go kill Luke, and then when she turns back to the light when she talks to Obi, then she dies. That would have been a great ending. I've said this before, and I think it would have been a really good ending for her arc. And the only reason we know she's alive is because she's getting her own show, and we already know it's gonna get hated on and it's gonna be shit.
I feel like it might not actually be as shit. I feel like you can't really prejudge it.
I'm just saying. I just like there was no reason for her to be alive.
I think it's gonna be better than we think. Like I think she's gonna have some. She's gonna die in her own show. I think she gets caught up with from the other Inquisitors, but she's gonna do her best to help out the rebels and make amends
Mm-hmm.
and have the true redemption.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't care for her character. I really don't. I see people like, oh, people just don't like Reva because she's black and stuff. I'm like, dude, nothing has to do with that. It's more of her character. It's like, have a better character in there, bro. And like, why would you go on with this thing with her being rivals with the other Inquisitors and then completely just shut that off? Like, we don't even hear about the Inquisitors later on. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. After she got fucked by Vader, you don't hear anything about the other Inquisitors. I don't know. I just like, there's a lot of shit that we didn't need in the show. We needed more Anakin and more Obi.
Yeah,
So
that's true. They did add a bunch of shit that was just unnecessary.
yeah, I mean,
I agree.
again, it's okay to have Reva. It's just I wish they had a better character. I think it would have been, again, it would have been cool to see her have fucking red ass eyes.
I don't know why it wasn't just the Grand Inquisitor. They marketed him. It should have just been him being the whole guy trying to get.
Yeah. Why do
He should have been there.
why do we need all these characters?
Oh, you know what's goofy? The amount of whispering in that fucking show. Like when Obi-Wan was talking to Reva with all those fucking troopers around and it's basically saying, "Hey, betray Vader." None of them listened in.
Yeah.
None of them heard that.
I mean, bro, they're being real like, dude, they ain't being that
They were having
quiet.
a normal ass conversation. They were just talking.
I thought of the same shit, dude.
Like none of them were gonna be like, "Hey, yo, you hearing this?"
Exactly.
And then she says, "Bring him inside," and just like none of them question it. They're like, "Why don't we just hold him here? We got him."
Yeah,
Fucking,
exactly.
what are you talking about?
I agree. I
Uh,
I don't know. There was some goofy shit in the show. Um, I don't know, man. I just my biggest beef with the show is that the fact that this was supposed to be like a trilogy. This was supposed to be a trilogy, but and this that would have been perfect, a trilogy. But because Solo tanked, they folded and was like, we're just gonna do a fucking show. I'm just like, why? Why do a 6 episode show? Your priorities are so wrong. If just because Solo tanks doesn't mean you gotta fucking fold on Obi. I mean, the Obi-Wan is that should be your main focus, if anything.
it's a show, yeah.
I mean, you guys tanked really because the marketing alone was terrible for that movie for Solo, and it was just an unnecessary movie that didn't need to be made. It was unnecessary. We could have gotten a different Star Wars movie that would have been cooler. It was unnecessary.
I can't lie, I don't know that much about Star Wars. Like, watching this was the first time I watched like a series from Star Wars, and like I don't think I really followed it as well as the real fans who watched the movies
Well,
and
see,
trilogy and all that.
for you, it'd been good just to watch 1, 2, 3 to kind of have an idea. That's like the
Mm-hmm.
best thing, to be honest. And then,
At least episode 3, and that's it.
yeah,
Really,
well,
and
in
the Clone Wars
episode
and
one,
Rebels.
two, well, episode one because of Qui-Gon and shit. Um, yeah, but
But I can
and
see myself getting into this more,
yeah, dude,
definitely.
I want you because I finished Rebels, which is fantastic, and I just rewatched Solo. I definitely would want to watch. I want to watch Rogue One again, and I would like to watch it with you because it's a really good fucking movie. It's probably the
Great.
best Star Wars Disney movie.
Disney, yeah.
It's and that's why. Let's move on to other projects. So we got upcoming projects for Star Wars. That's why I'm excited for the upcoming stuff is because Andor that's coming out. The guy that made Rogue One is directing that shit, and they're actually using more props instead of using this fucking green screen that we keep seeing in the shows. That I'm just like, bro, use actual props. Like, it's good to use props.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to do props
I
with like
mean,
futuristic stuff, to be honest.
it makes it so
And
much
also,
better.
episode 1, 2, and 3 was all CGI. That was George Lucas's thing.
Well, yeah, and
That's
like,
what Star Wars was built on.
yeah. Well, now it's like it's so much better when you actually have it's fine to use the special effects using the green screen, but it's also good to use fucking props, using stuff that actually makes the characters feel like they're actually in Star Wars. And in Endor, they actually talked about this, like they actually feel like they're on the fucking planet because they did so much with it, and I love that. I and I and I like the shots they've had in the so far from the trailers. I can't stand what they
Haven't
did
seen
with
a trailer
Obi
yet.
Wan. I can't stand with Obi-Wan. I just can't stand the camera shaking. Like, I think some of the camera fucking angles of that show was awful.
I didn't have that same issue.
I
So
could not stand it.
don't
I
have a
was like, whoever's the fucking rookie behind the camera needs to stop it. Because, dude, we have had fantastic shots from like Rogue One. Dude, those were beautiful shots, especially from space and looking down on the planet, or when like they use the Death Star and shit. Dude, that is some awesome things. I mean, you can even say from the sequels, as bad as they are, they have some really fucking amazing special effects and just pretty views of the Star Wars universe. But yeah, Andor looks fantastic. We got Ahsoka next year, so I'm pretty hyped. We're supposed to get Hayden Christensen in there. I don't know if he's gonna be a Force ghost or what. We're gonna find
it's
out.
gonna be that's gonna be a flashback. We're gonna, dude. I can guarantee we're gonna see. We're gonna be like, hey Snips, and she's like, how you doing, Sky Guy?
I
And
would love
that's gonna
that.
be an introduction. That's gonna be so great.
Imagine if it was a Force ghost, because this is after everything. So that'd be dope. That'd be dope. I mean, we got Skeleton Crew, I'm not too sure what that is all about. And we got a couple other shows. I guess we're getting Mandalorian season 3. I think the most hyped is Mandalorian just because everyone fucking loves that show. I think it's a great
Yeah,
show.
so excited for Mando season 3.
I liked season 2. Some people didn't like it. I thought season 2 was in ways better than season 1.
Much better.
And that's Jeff. That's a show we got to watch. It's so fucking good. If you want a good Star Wars show,
I never
that's
made
it.
The Mando.
Yes.
I will.
We'll
when
have to
season
watch
3 comes
it.
out, that's the time to binge.
Yep.
And by the way, we'll watch Rogue One eventually.
Yeah, Rogue One is dude, it's so good. I didn't expect it to be that good as I saw it in the theaters. And this was a time I think when I don't even know when this movie came out. I don't know. I think it was right after The Last Jedi, I believe. So it was like shit show. Star Wars was kind of in a shithole, and this movie came out. I believe so. I could be wrong. I don't know exactly the timeline, but yeah, I mean we got some movies, and what I hope what Disney does for future projects for Star Wars. I just don't want them to do what they do with Marvel. I want them just to take their time on their projects, make movies, make their shows. Everyone wants Star Wars. There's so much Joe knows there's so much material that we could fucking get. We could get
the Old Republic for sure.
I mean, we can watch Star Wars content our whole lives. There's so much to it. But we'll see. They're not going too fast from what I'm looking at. Especially with their movies. They're being more careful with their movies, which they should, because they kind of fumbled the bag on the movies. But yeah, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on the future projects and like any Star Wars related shit that's going on?
Go ahead, Joe. I gotta think for a minute.
This man got
What about these upcoming movies?
Or shows, or like, is there anything that's like popping out that you're excited for?
I mean, not really.
No, just
Yeah.
just Mandalorian.
I mean, Andor, I'm gonna watch it. I still haven't seen any trailers, so I have no idea what it's about. I know it's about like the Rogue One guy, but I haven't seen anything. So, because I'm waiting to actually be surprised, because
Yeah.
I've stopped watching trailers.
That's alright,
I'm excited for Moon Knight season 2 because they announced it to be 12 episodes.
Wow, they're
Season
actually treating the show like it should.
And then She-Hulk is having 9 episodes. They're actually making more episodes and actually letting it be a show.
Well, it needs to be, bro. You can't put 6-episode shows out and have good content.
And they've listened, so it's actually pretty cool that they listened.
It's too short to make a show like that. There's too much information going on that you're just skipping over. And
yeah, most seasons are at least 8 episodes, and it's probably best that most companies keep that consistency going.
I think having too many episodes is bad, and I think having having less is bad. Like The Boys almost does it right, but it pisses you off because you're like, damn, you get 8 episodes. Like, this is awesome. We get 8 fucking episodes of The Boys, and then you have to wait, and you're like, son of a bitch. They could totally add more episodes, but they should
have done 12 episodes.
They almost do it right where it kind of makes you want to keep watching. So that's kind of dope.
It's perfect.
It's not like too many, because you don't want too many episodes, because then it fucking drags.
I think 10 or 12 episodes would have been perfect. 10 episodes of this third season would have been perfect.
Yeah, just because there's so much happening, I guess.
They could have stretched out that final fight for the.
I agree. I wish the fight was a little longer than just like that, but
there's 2 parts of it.
We won't spoil it too much because we're gonna let Jeff watch it. But good show.
I just want more. That's all I'm trying to say is I just wanted more.
For Star Wars, I know you're talking about CGI or green screens and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready. I think the most hype they could get is doing it actually in space, filming real people in space.
They did that didn't they just do that? Didn't they do that in a movie?
Did they do that in Star Wars already?
No, not in Star Wars, but they did it for a movie
Oh shit!
but I
What's
could be
up?
wrong. I could be wrong.
It's pretty easy to do. You just have money. You give it to a
It's
space company or
dude, it's
Virgin Airlines.
expensive,
Give it to
bro.
Bezos. There you go.
The problem is, it's not like you can just fucking let's do reshoots today, guys. You know, it's kind of
Yeah, if
like you
somebody has
get
the
what you
line
get.
wrong. God.
Yeah, or if you forgot to, you need to retake something. That's the problem. It ain't cheap to go up there.
Sure.
You know, you're taking a fucking
So
rocket to get up there.
eventually, that's something I feel like Star Wars could do right. They would really
I
do a
mean,
good job with
I
that.
mean, bro, that's the thing too. I mean, if once you watch Rogue One, you'll see how good it looks visually. I mean, it looks
Mhm.
beautiful. It looks like it looks exactly like something you'd see out of space. To me, I don't. Maybe you're right. Maybe there'd be some like some things that would make it look better. But honest to God, like some of the space battles you see now with Star Wars, I think it looks fine. I think they look good. I mean, dude, even the original Star Wars space battles look fine from the original. Like I think that shit looks good for how old it is.
Oh yeah.
Um God, yeah, we're gonna have episodes of just talking about Star Wars and just talking about having a fucking just a podcast of just talking shit about the sequels and just all that good shit. There's
I think everything's been said. I'm over the shit already.
with Star Wars in general.
No, just that the sequels like shit. It's everything's been said. You can't really talk more about it. Like everyone knows it sucks.
Yeah, and it's
And,
like
and the people who say they don't, they're obviously lying to themselves.
well, and then and then there's rumor that we're gonna get we're gonna get more past the sequel. I'm just like, fuck, bro.
If they make it good, I won't complain. If they like fix it at least.
This is
If they actually include Finn like he was supposed to be, and don't fucking ruin him.
see
That
this
was my main thing. Was like, dude, Finn's gonna be that guy, and it was fucking nothing.
See, that's my problem, dude. Mandalorian season 2 made a character that used to be a sniper or whatever it used to be for the Empire. He made that character. They made that character have a better character arc than all three fucking trilogies of Finn.
Hmm.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Not really.
It's the guy that used to be an ex stormtrooper or whatever the fuck he was. When they were
No, not Saw Gerrera.
the guy that was. I'm talking about Mandalorian season 2.
I know. Bill Burr. Bill
Yeah,
Burr's
yeah,
character.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
His character is so fucking good.
Mayfield. That's his name.
Yes.
Mayfield. Yeah.
Yeah, his character was fantastic. I mean, that
Mhm.
story arc was like that was better than Finn's, and Finn should have had
They did Operation Cinder, which is in Battlefront 2's campaign. You played that. You were a part of it,
yep.
and I was like, oh, dude, they're really bringing in Battlefront 2. That's awesome.
I mean, dude, they even had a thing in Obi-Wan. They had a glimpse of your I forgot his name, but your master in Jedi Fallen Order. You can see like his symbol on the wall when Order 66 was happening.
Yeah.
So
Jaro Chapal. Yeah.
So there's some cool things that people don't realize. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It just sucks. This is the thing. People say like Star Wars is toxic and shit like this, or the fandom, but people don't really understand what toxic is. I think it's been watered down so fucking bad. Because don't get me wrong, people that are Star Wars fans like us, like we're fucking we're stubborn assholes. But to be fair, it's content you got to take care of. It's not something you can just make shit and be like, okay, this is okay. It's like, no, bro, you are gonna have an army of people getting pissed, rightfully so. But I mean, if you want to talk about toxic is more like, going at it with the actors or actresses for them playing that part and stuff like that. It's like, bro, you can't be blaming them for the writer's shitty fucking mistakes. I mean, if you're gonna go after anyone, you'd be going after the fucking, Disney or anyone that's ahead of all that stuff. Kathleen Kennedy, people that are making the shots for the movie. It's like you don't put out your anger and shit towards the actors and actresses because that's not fair. That's not fair for them. I mean, they're literally just there to do their job. They're not there to fucking write the movie. So, I mean, I feel like that's more what toxic is than, or you can even go from being toxic to as being racist or sexist, whatever. That's being toxic. But like the whole like because you have a different opinion about the story of a Star Wars film or a show, it's not. I mean, that's not being toxic. You literally have actually reasons why you dislike the show. I mean, we point out reasons why I have issues with Obi-Wan. So it's like it's not being toxic. That's just having your own opinion about something. But man, oh man,
People just can't be disagreed with.
no.
Or it's like, oh, you're fucking rude.
Yeah, I mean it's like with anything, bro. And with going with that, so recently something happened. I was actually kind of telling Jeff this, but he doesn't really know too much about it. Warner Brothers canceled Batgirl, which was $90 million. I mean, this is huge. This is something we don't usually see with a budget that high. When you see a budget of $90 million being canceled, usually that doesn't happen with things because that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, no way.
I mean, dude, that's a lot of money into a film, and then just like, oh, fuck you. I understand why the person did it, because pretty much a brand new guy, CEO of Warner Bros. Or whatever he is, a president, came in there and was like, yeah, fuck this. We're not doing Batgirl. We're not doing this. We're actually gonna try to like fix a lot of shit. We're not gonna just throw out content. And I agree. I think you shouldn't be just throwing out Batgirl and shit like that. They said they're gonna keep the actor and the character still, of course, but just not for just some show. So I was like, you know what, whatever. And they already had screen. I've already saw things about.
I didn't really give a shit about Batgirl. I didn't even know it was happening, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people
had
really
no
didn't.
idea.
Uh,
Even if I wasn't gonna see it,
I mean,
I don't care
people
about
heard
Batgirl.
things about the screen. What is it called what is it called when people do like screen? Um. Anyways, people kind of knew things about some of the scenes with the actors and actresses, and they were like, "This is dog shit. This is gonna be like the worst thing ever." And so there was already a lot of things happening with the film already. But yeah, so they pretty much canceled it. And it's kind of something you don't hear from. And I think that's something that a lot of what Hollywood needs to fucking understand is like you can't just be throwing out shit content like this. You gotta, if you're a big studio like this, like you need to fucking get shit together. Like,
fucking joke.
I mean, we've gotten the new Top Gun movie that was fantastic. Like they actually use a lot of practical effects with actually using fighter planes and shit. So it's like, bro, they took it to another level with making a movie. So it's like our expectations on movies like that should be that high, man. Like y'all are $1 billion companies. You guys should be making top notch movies. You guys have great actors. You just need you just need good writing. That's the biggest problem. We always see shitty writing from these movies. And people are tired of it. I'm fucking tired of it. I want to see good content from movies. I like no one ever. I feel like we're in such a age where it has to be like we have to send a message.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday,
Really?
and it's not. Yeah, with me, you, and Eugene. Remember? It was like not yesterday.
Oh, the day
We already
before.
told. Yeah, they don't really care about quality. It's about quantity.
It's like sending the message too. It's like, oh, we have to put a female in there because why not? Let's put a female in there because you know strong,
Well, they do
independent
it.
woman and stuff like that. But no
Why
one
they do it?
and
They
no
do it
one
because of money.
and no one's against a strong, independent woman. It's how they portray the character. It's how they make the character. It's like, oh, I'm a female. I gotta prove myself. I gotta do all this stuff. I gotta say that I'm badass, dude. Almost every female character ever
Studios do this to hit a certain demographic, and then they can show it in promotion, so people are like, "Oh, I gotta see this."
but it's
and
like,
they still make money off of it.
but it's like
They don't have
every,
money
to
off
say it
of not.
necessarily. They should show through actions.
but it's every character ever that's been a good female character. Almost every character ever never had to prove, never had to show that they're a female. Be like, oh, I'm a female. It's like they just do it. Like Ridley Scott, dude, with Alien, like that character
That's
never
what Prey did. They
that,
did it well.
but they did it they did it so much better than what it was advertised. That's why people were shitting on the movie, because they thought it was going to be that typical Mary Sue shit, but it wasn't. It was perfect. And so, I mean, if you guys probably have never seen the first Alien, dude, that is a fantastic female character. I mean, even from Terminator, Sarah Connor, I mean, that's a good female character. There's a lot of badass female characters. And nowadays it's like we got to show this independent fucking woman but we got to show it in such a way to be like, oh, fuck men and stuff. I can do what they do. You know, it's like you don't need to prove that, bro. Just do your thing. People like strong female characters, but it's like, why do you have to force shit when you can just naturally make it happen? Just naturally make the character good. You don't need to force feed us bullshit, because it just makes the story bad in general, you know? So.
Yeah, but if it makes money, the studios don't care.
And that's the thing. A lot of these movies have not, though. It's been backfiring like crazy. I mean,
Not really. I wish Eugene was here. He would be on my side. They're not enough are losing for it to
I mean,
not
dude, look at fucking one of the biggest films, like Ghostbusters, was such a backfire that they pretty much erased their fucking characters and redid
That's
the
because it was actually just a bad movie in general.
the movie. But it was
I
literally,
think if there was male characters, it still would have been a bad
but
movie.
it
wasn't about
that was
characters, about the
but it was that whole, I've seen the movie. That whole movie is literally a woman empowerment movie. I mean, it's the same thing with one of the Terminators. It's the same shit.
I haven't seen any of the Terminators. I don't. Nothing on that.
So I mean, I've seen a lot of these movies that try to push this shit, and it backfires like a motherfucker. And so I don't know. I think that
The ones that Eugene and I were talking about, when they don't force it like those movies, then they don't really backfire. If they just have it in there, but they still hit the check boxes, and you still don't like some of those movies, they still do well enough that they can keep doing it.
well, it depends again. Yeah, I mean, again, like Prey, that shit. I think, in my opinion, it works. It worked for that character. It works really well. They didn't force feed it.
Because they just made a story.
It was more natural. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. When they make stories like that, no one's gonna fucking bitch. People are gonna bitch when it's just a fucking random ass, short hair bitch. Of course she's lesbian, and then just like, oh, here's a character, guys. Here's a strong female character number one. So, that's when it's just like, and you can tell too. Even the writing's just poor. If you ever like just watch movies like that, it's just like, wow, this writing's fucking terrible. I mean, dude, look at Star Wars. I mean, Rey's character was bad. I don't see why people think that character was good at all. She was just a Mary Sue. She could have been a good character. The actress is fine. It's just how they portrayed her character and how they fucking developed her, because it was just trash. It was utterly garbage.
Yeah, she was pretty bad. I liked Kylo in the new movies. Kylo was my favorite part of it.
And well, I had problems with Kylo, but I take Kylo over. I still don't like him. I think it would have been dope for him to keep his mask on the whole time. That's kind of like the hide. Like, that's why it was like cool. That's why Darth Vader was so cool and menacing, because it was just like, we don't know who's behind this mask. Like, this guy is fucking evil as shit, and he's just wearing a mask. And yeah, I mean, I know Jeff's like, holy shit, you guys are talking about shit that I've never watched.
Yes. Yes.
But
yes.
I mean,
but I still should be hearing it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. When we go through these podcasts, I want to do episodes what you guys are into too, and we'll really get in depth, and we'll have new guests hopefully every week, and sometimes it might just be me. Might even just be me. You might be hearing my fucking voice for an hour or so. But yeah. Oh, and also an upcoming show for Star Wars, or not show, game. We got the new Star Wars game coming out, which is Fallen.
In 2023, yeah.
Yeah, Fallen Order 2 or whatever the correct name of the new Star Wars game is. That game looks dope. I'm excited. Like we literally just got a little glimpse. I'm just like, I'm ready. So Jeff, what are you excited most about, like future, anything, any films that are coming out or anything that you're excited about, or even games for, in fact.
Let's see. Films. I honestly don't know at all.
Or even games, because I know obviously we play games, so we play games every day.
TV shows. Obviously, I got into The Boys.
Boys.
Another one I want to get into is Better Call Saul.
Pretty good show. I enjoyed it.
There's also one called Barry.
Barry, I want to see Barry. I haven't seen.
Yeah, I have not either. My roommates were watching it a while ago, and it looked really interesting. It's just kind of like I don't know if he's like a spy or something, but I saw an episode where he blows up a house basically, and it looked like something that I mean they were interested in, and I could see myself watching as well.
Yeah, I mean, and we got to watch Terminal List. I promise you would love that.
Terminal List.
Yep, with Chris Pratt. It's pretty good. He's a Navy SEAL. So that's I've watched like 4 or 5 episodes, but there's like 8 episodes. I honestly just stopped. I was like, you know what? Maybe Jeff will watch this. I'll rewatch this shit because this shit is this good. So really, really good show. That's what I noticed too. Amazon has been coming out with some good shows lately. So there's a lot of good shows, and then you got fucking I don't get it. It's like they make good shows, and then you get Lord of the Rings shit. I'm just
like you're just over hating on it.
No. It's shit. It's gonna be shit. So
what if it's good?
If it's
are you 100% it's gonna be shit?
If it's dude,
what?
Just from everything I've seen, they don't know anything about the lore, and that's my biggest fucking problem with the show. But I don't really want to get too much into Lord of the Rings with this podcast. Maybe we'll have a whole. Maybe I'll even get Josh, because Josh is a fucking lore.
I don't even like Lord of the Rings.
I absolutely love it. I don't like The Hobbit. Everyone that likes The Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings are people that have never seen Lord of the Rings. That's Eugene.
I've seen Lord of the Rings, and I like The Hobbit way better.
You gotta get Josh then.
Oh, dude, this man knows lore like no other in that show. Or from from Lord of the Rings.
Trivial Pursuit games based on Lord of the Rings. So yeah, he's the man.
Regardless of the people who are all lore forward, that show's still gonna do well. Because most people don't care about the lore. Most people are casual. It's still gonna do well, and it's not gonna matter if you like it because of its lore and accuracy.
Well,
that's like a 10% of the people, and the other 90 are still gonna watch it, and it's still gonna do well enough.
Well, you never know. It's been backfiring like crazy lately with a lot of people. I'm just saying, because it's the same thing with it's the same thing with Star Wars, especially after episode the Last Jedi. It got a lot of backfire. And that's why even though they might have quote unquote made money, that's why do you think they haven't popped out a shit ton of movies? Because it did fucking terrible, regardless of how much money they made. It's a Star Wars film; they're gonna make money, of course, but it can still backfire like a motherfucker. So, and that's kind of why the Mandalorian saved Star Wars as a whole. Kathleen Kennedy, fucking Dave Filoni, that man alone. So, yeah, I mean. But yeah, again, I think Amazon has been making some good ass shows, man, and I'm excited for other projects they're making. And again, The Boys.
People care about story. If the story is good enough, they're not going to care if it's lore accurate.
Well,
that's my.
You could say the same thing about Star Wars, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, how You know, we even said too, it's like, how the fuck do you like the sequels? But you could say the same thing with Star Wars. Someone absolutely has no idea about Star Wars but loves the
The
sequels.
story wasn't good though. That's my point. The story wasn't good.
But to be fair,
That's
from
why I
to
didn't
be
like it.
fair, but to be fair, from someone that say if someone's never ever seen Star Wars in their entire life and they
They
went to
liked
go
it.
watch this, they would like them
They liked it
because they don't know
because
anything
they don't
about
know
it.
it.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of the same fucking thing as Lord of the Rings. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure I'll fucking watch it and I'll do a review. But
But they liked it because they don't really know the story of Star Wars.
yeah, I mean,
They don't know what happened before. If like most of the kids now who like fucking Reese's little brother, he likes the sequels, but he didn't grow up watching Star Wars. That's
yeah,
the first Star Wars he's seen, so that's what he thinks Star Wars is.
yeah.
All
Well,
he saw was lightsabers and stuff. Was like, oh, that's cool.
it sucks because dude, the lightsaber battles are so fucking bad in those movies. So bad. And I promise you, like when my son grows up, that kid is not he's gonna be watching the good movies first for anything else. He can have his opinion on it, whatever the fuck he wants, but he's gonna be watching the first, the original, the prequels. If people could talk shit about the prequels, but listen, the prequels still, dude, as bad
You know,
as
eventually the sequels are gonna become the prequels.
I mean, as bad as
Once those young kids grow up, the sequels are gonna become the prequels. Just how like the prequels were the sequels for the people before us.
yeah,
That's just how it's gonna go.
but I think, but the thing with the prequels though, I've noticed like yeah, there's some fucking shitty dialogue and there's some weird story that just drags on with some weird shit. I understand. See, I understand that, but it's like, dude, you can watch those movies and have fun with them. And it's like you get episode 3, which is arguably the best fucking episode of any Star Wars film, in my opinion, and have a fucking blast with that film. They're great. And then on top of that, you get the Clone Wars, it is the best thing that Star Wars has ever fucking made. I mean, there's a lot of shit, a lot of Star Wars shit. If people love Star Wars, that is the show to watch, man. That is the show to watch. I've seen that show 3 or 4 times now, and I love it every single time. If Jeff was like, "Bill, let's go watch it," I'm like, dude, I would watch it again. I would watch that show again. It's a good. I mean, it's a very, very good show. It makes the prequels so much better because there's so much they miss between episode 2 and 3. I love how we're about.
I gotta get on top of this.
I love how you could tell when we love Star Wars is when we talk about fucking Amazon and then we go to fucking Star Wars and then we jump to Amazon again, and then we jump to DC or whatever, and then we go back to Star Wars. That's funny, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Jeff, you gotta get your shit together, dude. Shit together. You gotta watch these films. I
I gotta stop gaming so much.
stop being a fucking gamer. Stop grinding for once, man.
You know, I'm not even gonna be able to do too much this next year because I'm gonna be working on senior year and getting into graduate school stuff for my university.
Wait, you are trying to be a grown up? Fuck.
Oh yeah. I had to at some point. I'm much older than you. I'm
You're
like 3 years older.
3. Wow, really?
Yeah, you're born in 99.
98.
Oh, okay then, 2 years.
That's not that bad,
Yeah,
dude.
it's time to get through
See,
college.
I think it's crazy that you're a couple of years older than me, and I've watched more older shit than you have.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's
Like-
like your parents raised you differently.
Well, and I grew up with sisters, and
Possibly.
dude, I grew up with a lot of older movies back in the day. So I mean, I always watched all that shit, man. That's why like, if someone asked me if I would choose like what Disney, because I'm pretty up to date with Disney movies just because my son. But if I had to watch any of like Disney movies, it'd be like the '90s era. I think those were fucking great. And I love those. Nostalgia to me, baby. Or even early 2000s. Very nostalgia. I do like that the animation looks fantastic in the new ones. I mean, they look almost real at times. I mean, it looks really, really good. And some of them are really good stories. But yeah, I like the old stuff. But yeah, I'm just music. Music's the same
I
way, man.
like one of the oldest movies I remember growing up watching.
King
One of my
Kong.
dad's
Just kidding.
favorite. Nah, I haven't even watched King Kong or any
Dude, that shit was
of
made like the
those.
20s.
Yeah, it's one of the longest running series according to Amber.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
King Kong.
Yeah.
One of the oldest like movies that I watched was this one with Robert Redford, I think his name was, and his daughter was in the movie. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong male actor, but um, shit, it was called On Golden Pond. Did you guys ever hear of On Golden
I
Pond?
have not.
I mean, it's not like super old,
I mean,
but
maybe if I've
um,
seen like a picture, I'd be like, oh yeah. But top of my head, I'm
yeah,
really bad with names. Like if you give
I
me
know. Like
pictures, but
for me, my parents like had we had a DVD player, and normally like I was watching something that they liked, and I'd occasionally go to the movies and watch a movie, something new, but like yeah, I know I watched Star Wars, but it was so long ago that I wish I would have remembered more or
grown up
watched it
more.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's what I've noticed too. Everyone's different about everything. Like I myself, I grew up with just movies in general in my life, movies, shows, fucking music. Um, so like you'll
There you
catch me listen to
go.
like 80s music and be like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, what are you doing? 70s. So I mean, I listen to a lot of shit like my
Says,
parents
says
live in.
that.
I
Who
don't
says
know.
that?
I don't know. A lot of modern, younger generation than us will be like, "What the fuck?" Because like they listen to like some
Yeah.
stupid shit.
But
So
they'll listen to the 2000s music though. That's what they'll like.
see, and
That's just
I
life.
2000s
That's
music's not bad at all. That's the shit right there, dude. Especially
I
like
listen
R and B.
I listen to 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s,
Yeah, I
2000s,
mean, I'm the
even
same
today.
way. I'll even get down to some instrumental shit. I fucking love instrumental like movies and show or a movie, anything. It could come from a movie or a show or video games, just anything like that. Especially with Hans Zimmer involved. That man's a fucking genius.
The Inception guy?
Hans Zimmer is he did
Inception
he
and
did he
Interstellar.
did do Inception. He did Interstellar. He's done a lot of movies. He's done a lot of movies, man. And you could tell too. You're like, damn, this music's good. And then you look like, oh, Hans Zimmer. Oh. I mean, dude, Hans Zimmer did some of the music for NW2. So, yep,
I mean, he's all
And
right.
he's making the sounds for cars. Electric vehicles are gonna have louder motors, or at least sounds coming out of them that Hans Zimmer designed.
that's funny,
The BMW will definitely
BM,
have Hans
George
Zimmer.
Lucas.
dude. Hans, he's a legend, man. When that man retires, you're like, fuck. So, yeah, I mean, so that's pretty much it, guys. We kind of discussed, kind of went everywhere. So this is kind of the first podcast. We're gonna get better over time. We talked about Star Wars. We talked about Prey. We talked about Amazon shows. We talked about a couple other things. So we went everywhere. And again, that's kind of like how we are, especially with Star Wars. I always jump back to talk about Star Wars. That's the thing I could talk about. Even Joe could talk about fucking ever. There's so much lore. There's so much things you could talk about Star Wars. Jeff is probably like his mind's just like out
Getting it
there.
all.
This man is like, what the fuck? What are you guys speaking English? Especially when you get into start talking about like the old Republic and like um just like a lot of comic book stuff. So anyways, I love you guys so much. I appreciate every single one of you guys for popping in. Thank you for the guest. I appreciate you guys. And
Yeah.
I will see you guys
Yes,
the
sir.
next podcast next week. And I appreciate every single one of you guys.